Google has been hiding 5 AI features from us content creators who are introverted and ambiverted, I got y'all, because this AI tool with a push of a button can create multiple pieces of faceless content and we didn't even know about it. Because there's been so much shine with Gemini and Nano Banana that no one's really talking about this AI tool. And what I'm talking about is NotebookLm. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the 5 AI features that is going to turn you into a content machine. I'm talking about it makes a video for you. It does an audio podcast for you. It gives you infographic. I'm telling you too much. Let's get into it. So this is inside of NotebookLm, and you can make as many notebooks as you want to. Think of it as just different topics that you want to talk about or that you want to learn about. So first we have to make one before we could create the content. So you'll hit this create new notebook and you will upload your sources, whether it is videos, documents, websites. You could connect your Google Drive to it, YouTube videos, or just copy and paste the text that you have right here. So once we're done uploading our sources, you're gonna see it on the side. And as you can see for this example, I did Nipsey Hussle and some of his interviews that he had. And so in the middle, you're gonna see kind of where you can chat with the sources if you wanna ask it certain questions, but we're not here for that. We're here for the studio part. Because in the studio, here are the 5 features I wanna talk about. The audio overview, the video overview, the reports, the infographic, and the slides. Because what you have to understand is that this is going to create not just an average video. This is going to create a video with really dope graphics, an audio that can be pretty much a debate, infographics, slides that you can use for whether it is your social media or email or even present something, and as well as a blog post. All faceless, you don't have to do anything about it. So let's go into the graphic side. So let's make an infographic. So we're going to hit this pencil part and we're going to figure out which orientation that we want. I'm going to hit portrait. We could do maybe detailed. And what I'm going to do is give it a prompt of that I want Nipsey Hussle's brand and business lessons. Give it kind of a hip hop Nipsey Blue style. So this is my prompt and I'm just gonna hit generate and I'm gonna show you what it created. And in a matter of minutes, I have something that I can share into my social media, put it on my videos, and it is super detailed. And the great thing about it, AI is getting the text right. There's no spelling. It doesn't look weird like how we have before. This looks great. So let me zoom into it, right? And you can see the marathon blueprint, business and branding lessons of Nipsey Hussle, and it breaks it all the way down, gives it its own graphics, even created the marathon, their own version of the marathon store, and it is all done. So 1 to 10, let me know what do you think about this infographic. And let's get right into the slideshow. Now, I think the slide deck feature is super underrated because think of the slide deck as a more detailed infographic. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit, but the great thing about this is you can have like a detailed deck, or if you are actually presenting, you can have a presenter slide. And you could do short or default, and the same kind of thing that we did with the infographic. We give it that prompt of, hey, give me the Nipsey Hussle business and brand lessons. Give it a kind of a hip hop feel. I'm not going to say blue. I don't want all blue slides, but I'll say give it a hip hop feel. And let me show you what it made. And here's our slide deck. And I didn't pick out any of the pictures. It created the pictures, created the text, graphic, all of that. It did this, and this is really fire. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is something I am proud to show and put it on, let's say, my social media, or even do a presentation on this. And I did on one of my lives in a matter of minutes, and all I had to do was give it some YouTube videos and it created this. Oh, priceless. But you let me know 1 to 10, what do you think about this? Now let's get into the video side. Now, I don't know if you remember my first NotebookLm video where we talked about the video overview, but we didn't have any kind of control. It was whatever Google made for us. Now, with this recent update, it allows us to have a little bit more control. We can do explainers, We could do a brief, we can change the languages, and then now we have a little bit more templates of how the video is going to turn out. We do auto select, we can give it a custom prompt, we can do the classic style, whiteboard, and all of these other different templates. So we'll hit custom for this one, right? And then we'll say, what should the AI host focus on? We're going to keep that same theme, the Nipsey branding and business models, and pick out the best parts for entrepreneurs and creators. And then this is where I will describe that I want to kind of like a hip hop kind of try to get the LA feel. So I'm putting this all in here, and you could put whatever you want in, custom visual style, or you could pick one of the templates. Now let me show you how this one came out.
Today, we are breaking down the journey of a true visionary into a business framework, an actual blueprint. We're going to deconstruct Nipsey Hussle's life's work so you can apply it to running your own marathon. All right, let's get into it. And you really got to start with this quote, because it's the key to everything that comes next. See, Nipsey's whole philosophy, it wasn't some theory he read about. It was forged in the real world, through trial and error, through lived experience. He learned by doing, and that foundation gave him this unshakable confidence in his own gut feelings. So this really is the big question, isn't it? For years, Nipsey was operating way outside the normal system. He didn't have a huge chart-topping album on a major label, but somehow he built this incredible movement and a whole business empire. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a strategic thinker who decided, you know what, I'm going to play a completely different game. And that game starts right here, in phase 1.
Now, this brought a Faceless video to life. I don't know about you, but to be able to control maybe the theme or the look of the actual Faceless video, that's going to be very important. And so I like how they did this update. And of course, this is powered by Nano Banana and Gemini 3. But what used to be something of a very boring video overview now has a little bit of swag. I'm not going to lie, I kind of like it. But it's not about me. 1 to 10, what do you think about this video overview? Now let's get into some written content. Because I already showed you graphics between infographics and the slide deck, and I also showed you video, but let's get into some like blogging. Now it's not in plain sight, right? Because when I see reports, I'm like, okay, you're just gonna give me a full-blown report of everything that the source is. But when you click on it, it gives you create your own, brief doc, study guide, and then they have this blog post. Insightful takeaways distilled with highly readable article, right? You can change the language with this one. You could leave it as is because it already has a really dope prompt, or what probably you would want to do is also add kind of your tone and your voice into it so it can sound like you. Now I left it with the default prompt just so you can see how it looks like. So let's see. And here is our blog. Now, I think about blogs in a different way, right? I think about blogs where you could put this in a Substack. You could put this as a long form thread or tweet, or you can pull out certain parts for, let's say, quotes and quote cards. So having a written document of some of the things that you're researching, or even some of your own documents as a source, and then they break it down into this, can be really helpful as far as creating different pieces of social media content. So it has an introduction. It breaks down like, yo, he stole Apple's blueprint and made it work on the streets. So it gives different bullet points, about like 5 of them, and then it gives a conclusion. Now, of course, with anything with AI, you probably want to tweak it if you want to take that full thing. But to have this much written content based off the sources that you give it, the amount of content that can be created from this alone is endless. So for this last AI feature, let's talk about the thing that put NotebookLm on the map at first, which was these audio overviews, where you can put your sources and it turns it into a full-blown podcast that you could actually repost as your own podcast or use it for your social media content. And so right here, you'll hit that pencil. And so now it has a few more options where it's like a deep dive, a brief, a critique, and a debate. Actually, for this example, I hit a debate, right? I put the default, but then I put the prompt that we've been using where it's like get Nipsey Hussle's branding and business model, but kind of find the gaps. This one I did find the gaps. So let's hear a little bit about it.
Welcome to the debate. Our focus today is on the strategic genius and operational reality of the marathon ecosystem, the vertically integrated business model built by Nipsey Hussle. In this whole narrative, it offers a really compelling tension point for all modern entrepreneurs.
It really does. And that tension is palpable. I mean, when you analyze this model, all money in, TMC, the retail network, you face a fundamental question. Is this a sophisticated, transferable corporate blueprint? Or is it a brilliant anomaly that's just, inextricably linked to irreplicable cultural capital and, frankly, profound personal risk?
That is precisely the crux of our discussion.
Two AI hosts debating about Nipsey Hussle is wild, but that's what NotebookLm can do. It literally gives you a full content suite from infographics, from written content, from video content, and from audio content. And you can't necessarily change the voices with the audio either. But what's great about when you have all of these things, let's say you want to do this again for another notebook, all your prompts you can find under the custom prompt. It'll show you exactly which one you used, so you can kind of duplicate it for the next project.
Shut up and take my money.
Now, NotebookLm is free, okay? Everybody has access to it. You may have limited access, but it is free. So you'll have the audio overview if you have the free version. Now, if you pay for any of the Google memberships and tiers, you'll have the pro version that gives you all of the rest of those features. I think this is a very underrated and a sleeper tool because if it could create all that content, more people should be talking about it. But maybe it's just between me and you. So I'm cool with that. Now, how to apply it into your content strategy, think about it. Like Monday, you could drop the video overview. Tuesday, you can drop the infographic. Wednesday, you could take a quote from that blog and make it into a quote card. Thursday, you can take the audio overview and post that as a podcast, or maybe just take a snippet of it, get another quote card, get another quote, and make that into a shareable content. Where we at? Friday we can drop the full blog, right? Whether we want to put it on Substack or where we want to make it into a carousel of whatnot. You have a whole week's worth of content just with one notebook. And you can keep redoing the prompts over and over again to continue to make more. Now, though not everybody's talking about this, you know this now. Will you be using NotebookLm? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to put the link to it in the description. And I got another video for you to help you to create content.